Hi, I'm Anna French, a nomadic digital storyteller, and I live full-time in Casper, the converted camper van,
with my rescue dog Cagney. You can find us on Instagram at Spin the Globe Project or on my website and blog, spintheglobeproject.com. You can also find my van details under the van menu option, and if you scroll to the bottom of the page, I list all the specific products in my van build.
Casper is a 2016 Ford Transit 250 low top that I actually recently had converted into a high top thanks to a company outside of California called Fiberglass. They installed this 24-inch fiberglass bubble top onto Casper, so now I can stand up in the van, and the interior clearance is now 6'1". That's after the roof and everything, the ceiling was put in. So let me take you inside and give you a tour. So welcome to the inside of my van. This is the second version of the van that I've had. When I first bought Casper, it was a retired U-Haul, and then my mom and I converted it over 2 months, really cheap budget build, which I have a whole blog post that I'll link to on how we did that in the description. But after living in it for a few months, I realized that a lot of things just weren't working out, and you know, you learn what you need once you jump in. So the whole purpose of the remodel was to incorporate all the luxuries that I didn't include in the first build for either cost or just time. My mom and I completely gutted the interior of the first build, and I painstakingly drew out the layout, made some blueprints for this remodel, and then handed it over to the talented crew of builders at RV Renovators in Mesa, Arizona. And it was actually their first van build, but I'm very impressed with their work. It's very professional, and I'm really glad I did that, because the quality of this build is so much better than I could have ever done with my amateur skills. So these 3 upper cabinets on the driver's side are all my closet. I tried my best to downsize my wardrobe and only pack my essential clothing that I wear pretty frequently, just so that everything could fit in here, because this is a pretty small space. I also really wanted to try and keep it organized because it's such a small space. This side is my pantry, so this is all my dry food. I've got my drop-in cutting board, which came with my sink from Amazon. It's great for extra counter space and for holding everything in place while I'm driving over here. It just happened to fit perfectly. So I've got all my dry food, a lot of gluten-free crackers, pretzels, things like that. I have celiac disease, so I am completely gluten-free. And then as much as I can fit, so I've got rice, quinoa, and pasta in these glass jars. Save space, and I'm trying to go zero waste. I don't think I'm going to make it, but any progress in that direction is an improvement from the amount of waste I'm currently producing. I've got my metal cups, bowls, and plates. Got 2 of each just in case I have a guest. And my Hamilton Beach blender, which is great. I just make my smoothies and then drink them in the right out of the container. And I usually do like a kale, banana, agave, almond milk smoothie once a day. I don't like to cook. I was hoping that my stove would make me cook more, but it hasn't. But the smoothies are a nice alternative and allows me to eat a little bit healthier than I might normally. So this is my 2-burner Dometic stove, and it's a propane piezo ignition. I don't need electricity or a lighter to start it, which is nice. It's been pretty great so far. I do like that it has the glass lid that you can close for more space. This is where I store my propane tank, which is about half the size of the standard, I think it's a 10-pound or 11-pound 5-gallon. And I've got these magnetic door locks, which have been working out really well. I actually have anosmia, so I can't smell. In case, I did have a gas leak, I would have no idea. So I've got this natural gas detector here. Got my carbon monoxide and gas and fire detector here. It's a lithium battery, 10 years, so it doesn't need to plug in. Humidity indicator and thermometer in case I need to, mostly it's to see if I want to leave Cagney in the car, if it's, you know, below 80, and then I can have all the fans and the vents and the screened windows open. So these are really nice. Nice addition with the high top. You can open these screens, get some fresh air in. And of course, the essential hanging fruit hammock. Usually I've just got bananas, apples, and avocados and things like that in here. One of my upgrades is that I have an electric water pump now, so I've got running water in the van. And I purposefully got a faucet with a long hose so I could open up my back doors and use it as a shower outside. Haven't done it yet, but it's here if I want it. I don't have a hot water heater, so that's a little bit of a problem. It would have to be a hot day for that to be bearable. But I upgraded my sink. It's much bigger. It's about 7 inches deep, 15 inches in diameter. And it came with this kind of built-in drying rack, which is really nice. And a strainer, so I collect all my food waste and then I dump it in my compost. And I have the Maxxair Fan, which is an upgrade from my old Fantastic fan, and I like this one much better. It has 10 speeds. The wonderful thing about this fan is it can stay open while you're driving and while it's raining. My 3 drawers here are my utensils and cookware on top, just sort of miscellaneous things, scissors, remotes, tape measure, things like that. All of my cookware and eating utensils are bamboo, which I really love. And I have 2 of each, like I said, just in case I have a guest. And down here I've got my coffee percolator, which is great for space, but it takes a while to make my coffee in the morning, usually about 20 minutes until it's ready with this thing. And I've got this thermocell lantern and mosquito repellent. You just put the cartridges in here and it supposedly creates like a 15-foot radius where the mosquitoes won't come. Then this bottom drawer here is just pots, pans, my crock pot, and some of Cagney's things. So Cagney's bowl, his treats, and my eco lunchbox for leftovers. Under the sink, I've got my 20 gallons of fresh water, which I can actually fill from the outside. So this is my water filter. It's a Clear 2.0 RV and Marine inline water filter. So I filter my water as it enters the van. That way it's all drinkable. So I drink straight from this faucet. So that's all the water I need. And it lasts about a week and a half, the 20 gallons. And that's using it for drinking water, cooking, dishes, brushing my teeth, things like that. This side is where I store my battery, which is the Goal Zero Yeti Lithium 3000, and I believe it's 450 amp hours, but I will link to that in the description. It is on the more expensive side, but I love it because it's lightweight, it's compact, and everything's in one. So my inverter, my control panel, my battery, even the plug outlets and the display are all condensed into this one device, which is really convenient. My biggest draw is always my MacBook Pro, especially while I'm video editing. But I've got 320 watts of solar, so if I'm working on my laptop and charging it during the day, I'm usually replenishing the battery quicker than I'm using it. Then above that, I've got my eco-friendly products for a good cause that I sell on my shop on my website. And they are just postcards and greeting cards from various photos I've taken from my travels. That one's just Antelope Canyon, and they're printed on recycled paper, and I mail them in sets in recycled envelopes as well. And a portion of the profits goes to environmental and humanitarian causes, so feel free to check that out. I'll link that in the description. This is my toilet and my closet. Watch out, Cagney. Come here. Good boy. So I really like how the builders did this design so that the door breaks into two pieces so I can open it in this tight space. I've got some of my scarves hung here, jackets hung here, so it doubles as my closet and storage. These doors also create a little bit of privacy if I'm going to the bathroom and I have a guest. This is the Nature's Head Composting Toilet. This also opens from the outside for cleaning purposes once a month or so when I need to dump out my number 2 compost waste. I can access it a little bit easier. Got my little shower caddy. I have a Planet Fitness membership just for the showers. So I just bring this in. It's got everything I need in there. Got my composting toilet paper here. So this is my yoga mat. And this yoga mat holder was actually made through Shafco, a nonprofit I used to work for. So the women in Kibera slums, this is one of their kind of community groups. They make these and sell them mostly to Westerners online. This is my library, half of it. I have a few more books and things in here that wouldn't fit. My globe, which also glows at night. It's got just like a little USB charger to work it. And then my toiletries are up here, and some cleaning supplies in the back. I've got some of my artwork just around the van. This one's actually a painting I bought off of a woman in Antigua, Guatemala, and just some photos of people I love and want to remember our happy times together on the road. And I've got some Native American artwork. Then my boomerang from Australia. I spent over about 1.5 years in Australia in total. So this is my living room and bedroom. My table can move around in multiple directions, which is really nice, so I can use it as a desk or to eat on or as extra counter space for cooking. And I've got the Lagoon table mount. I can lock this in place so that it doesn't move when I'm driving. And I usually just leave this up while I'm sleeping so the bed can go all the way out. And then I also have underbed storage in here underneath the couch. And then when I'm driving, I just kind of stack this all on top of each other for drive mode. And then I use this tension rod here to keep the couch bed from moving. This table my mom and I actually made from the first build, and it's the only thing that made it into the van, I guess, other than these curtains from the original Casper version 1. And I've just got all the stickers on here from the national parks that I've been to while living in the van. And my fridge is actually underneath here. This is a Dometic CFX, I think 40 liters. I have to double check on that, but I'll put the link in the description. So I've just got some of my berries and fruit and things like that in here. Of course, a box white wine, my almond milk. But I mean, this thing fits a lot, and it's nice because it's got these little dividers. And it can be a freezer, but you can't do both at the same time. So I usually just keep it at 41. And it's cool because it has Bluetooth, which is a nice feature if you ever need to check the temperature of your fridge while you're not in the car. These cabinets, over the driver and passenger seat, store my bedding. So this is all my sheets and my comforter all kind of bundled into one. So I just throw it on and then shove it back in there in the morning. All my electronics, my laptop, and things are here. And I've also got this shade for my Maxxair Fan, which is nice. So if it's really cold, I put this in. It helps insulate. I've got my blackout curtains, which also kind of help keep out the heat in the daytime, which helps regulate the temperature, especially if I'm leaving Cagney. And then these are my window shades, which I made from the leftover fabric of my couch. I just used Fincelit. Then I duct taped some earth magnets and then hot glue gunned, as you can see some of it's coming off, but hot glue gunned the fabric on, and then they just all fit into each of my windows. Then my countertops are actually black walnut. And then my roofs are cedar, and some of these side panelings are pine, and then these doors and cabinets are all just plywood, finished plywood. It's always been my dream to have a cabin in the mountains on some water, and so I wanted the van to feel like that, very woodsy. So I've got my swivel seat here, which is really nice, just opens up the space, and if I have guests, someone can sit here while we eat. And it's just kind of nice to throw things on it when, you know, I'm not using it. It acts as my storage, and then I often throw things kind of behind there that I want out of sight, so it still feels clean in here. I also have window shades for up here. So depending on how lazy I am or what the temperature is, I'll put these up. I've got one for both the front and the two side ones, so they help with blacking out, and they're reflectic on one side, so they also help keep it cool in here if it's hot out, or keep it warm in here if it's cold out. I can also store my table up here if I do want to take it down. I just put it right behind the driver's seat, and it just wedges into place. I've never had a problem with it moving. And then I have all my plug outlets here. So this one is just my cell phone signal booster, the WeBoost, which is iffy. Don't highly recommend it. Not worth the cost. And then, so I've got two 110 or 120 volt plugs here and a couple USBs. And then my light switches. So I've got the main three LED overhead lights. And then this one is for my fan vent, my Maxxair fan vent. And then I've got the water pump. And I've got the ShareFlow 12 volt water pump for my sink here. And then I really like this because it gives me a couple different lighting options. So this one is my under the cabinet lighting, and it has a dimmer, so I can put it, you know, change the ambiance in here, and it's got a remote, which is really nice. And then I've got these fairy lights that I have a remote for as well, and there's different settings, but I just like them on their basic solid setting. I wanted sort of a desert motif just to remind me of home. I grew up mostly in the desert in Arizona, so I've got a lot of desert themed things going on in the van. These are both memory foam pillows, and this mattress is actually memory foam as well. So it was a 5-inch double size memory foam mattress, but I had it sitting rolled up for months, and by the time I opened it, it only really grew to about 4 inches. So it's a 4-inch memory foam mattress that I cut into two pieces that are 25 by 70. And I kind of pull my bed out a little bit just to be able to slide the one mattress in the back. And then I kind of use these pillows to keep it in place. And this is bed mode. So the bed is actually 50 by 70 inches. And when I don't have my table up, the cushion on top of my fridge acts as sort of a bed extension, but it's plenty of space for just me. And it is memory foam, so I've had no problems. I get great sleep on this thing. And then, yeah, the fabric is from outdoorfabric.com, and it's stain and water resistant, and it really works. I can have my shoes on here, get it dirty, it just comes right off. A little bit of a design flaw, but to get to my underbed storage, I have to move my couch cushions to open this up. And I've got this stick that holds it in place so I can access everything down here. And I've got a ton of stuff. I've got a lot of my camp gear, so I usually keep like my bamboo folding table for outside and my camp chair, extra shoes, rock climbing gear, backpacking gear, all my emergency gear. These are the fuel tanks that I'm going to eventually install on the tire carrier. And these are levelers for the van. Mostly it's things I don't need every day because it's a little bit trickier to get to.
I had to move my spare tire out from under my van to fit my gray water tank, so I got this swing arm tire carrier, which also makes my spare tire more accessible if I get a flat.
This is the view from the back of the van. Got my garbage, my shoe bin, my hiking backpack ready to go, my parka. But this can also open up separately from inside when I need to change out the solid waste in my Nature's Head composting toilet. So it's just a little bit easier access from the back rather than trying to maneuver it inside and out because it can get a little heavy. In my first version of the build, I would have to carry out my 5-gallon jug and fill it up, carry it back in, same with my gray water. So now I've got the 20 gallons of fresh water that I fill up through here and 15 gallons of gray water that I can empty out through the bottom of my van. And I had installed this universal RV ladder, so now I can access my roof, and I kind of just have to climb on the tire to get up the first step. There's not a ton of space up there, but it's just nice to be able to sit up there and watch the sunset or whatever it may be, just get a better view. I also got an external plug outlet so that I can plug into the grid. I've got a Smitty built awning. It's 6.5 feet by 6.5 feet. And it takes me about 5 minutes to set it up and creates a lot of shade. So yeah, I got my novelty plate in. Casper 3. Technically this is the third, Casper's third life. Unfortunately, Casper 1, and Casper 2 were all taken in Arizona. And then yeah, just my Spin the Globe Project magnet. That's my website, spintheglobeproject.com. It's where I blog about sustainable and ethical travel and lifestyles, backpacking, expat life, and solo female van life. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to follow along with my daily adventures, head on over to Instagram and join me there. Bye.